Hello, welcome back to another version of Tween Club, Imagine Your Story, Summer Reading 2020. I'm Miss Linda, and Miss Angie is back again today. And today we're going to do an episode called Storm the Castle. And in this episode, you're going to learn how to make a graham cracker castle and also catapults with which to storm that castle. So without further ado, here's Miss Angie.
All right, thank you, Miss Linda. As you can see, I've already made a castle here so that you would have a final version to look at, but your castle can be any layout that you want. You are going to get a kit from us that will have some graham crackers in it, but if you want to make yours larger, you can certainly do that. What you see here, you will get enough graham crackers from us to make a castle this size, but you can add your own. We are using some Honey Made crackers, but you can certainly use crackers from anywhere, from any store. But to begin with, you're going to have to build your walls. Now I have a couple different kinds of frosting here. You could use tub frosting, and I will say that this particular tub frosting from Family Fare is actually thicker than some of the other brands, which I like because it will hold better. But for ours, we made our set of walls here. We took some confectioner's sugar, and the recipe calls for milk, but we actually used some coffee creamer. So if mom or dad or grandma and grandpa have some coffee creamer that they're willing to let you use, we did find that that actually worked better than the milk, because we do want a really thick frosting to hold your walls together. What I found with these is if I used the confectioner's sugar, my walls tended to hold together much faster. If I'm using a tub frosting, then I'm going to have to build those walls, and then I'm going to have to set them aside for a good 20 minutes to just let things harden so that they hold up and I can stack them. So to begin with, you'll notice I have two walls here. And over here, I made a little bit of a road for the entrance into my castle. So before I even start to build my walls, if there are these Cheerios that I want to do something similar, where it's going to be on a flat surface, then I'm going to go ahead and start by putting those on first. And for this one, because it's flat, I can just take my knife and some frosting and just spread that on there. I don't have to pipe it on. We'll get to the piping in a moment. And I just want to cover this in some frosting. And then my choice here is to use some leftover very old Cheerios that no one would want to eat to make kind of a cobblestone road for the entrance into my castle. But we also have some conversation hearts. We have some Smarties, which you will also get in your pack. But anything you have at home, you could use Fruit Loops and make a yellow brick road or whatever you want to make. But that's how you're going to do that one. And you'll notice that I have these Smarties on my castle. I partly did that because I didn't want to see my seams, so I actually added those after my walls had hardened, and I knew that they weren't going to fall apart if I started to press things onto them. So I need to start now by building my walls. And so what I need to do, I have 4 crackers. I'm going to add a 5th here because I need the top. This wall, you'll notice, has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and then a top. Some people, when they build their walls, like to start out flat like this and then build up. And you can do it that way. You need to figure out, maybe play around with it for a little bit and see what works best for you. But one thing I will tell you is that when you put these together, if this is my back wall, I need to set these a little bit on the inside of the cracker. If I try to put these all on the outside and make outside edges, then it's going to be a little too wide for me to set one flat. So I am going to go ahead and take my confectioner's sugar. You're losing your catapults, Miss Linda. You won't be able to shoot at me. I'm going to take my confectioner's sugar, which I have put into this baggie. And if you saw our other edible eats, we talked about using really, really, really small holes in the bag so that you can control how much frosting is coming out. So I used my small scissors and I made a very tiny hole in here. And I'm just going to go ahead and pipe some frosting along the sides. My a little bit more there, just to be sure I have enough. I'm going to stand mine up to show you this, and again, I'm putting it just inside the edge of the cracker. Now I need to add my fourth wall. Try my best to make sure this is as perfect a square as I can. Especially pay attention to the bottoms of your wall. See, like this one here is trying to move in a little bit, and then it won't be quite as square as I want it to be. Now again, if I'm using this frosting here, I'm going to put the hole in there, and I can use this one. What I found is that this one takes longer. I had to let these walls sit for about 20 minutes to get them. You can see I can pick this up and I'm not worried about it falling apart. Right now with this one I would want to let it sit, but it's only going to need to sit maybe for 5 minutes and it will be hardened like this. This one with the tub frosting, you're going to want to let it sit for a while, so maybe go do some other decorating. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put my top on, and I'm going to use my chocolate frosting. I chose chocolate because maybe that just kind of helps it look like more of a castle. This one I'm putting it on all 4 sides because this is the top. And then I'm just going to let that sit for a while. So while I'm letting those sit, I could work on other parts. So you'll notice that I have a star on my castle. I also used a Twizzler over here as one of my joints. You can do that. You'll just need to pipe your frosting on your Twizzler and put that in the corner. You will definitely have to let that one sit longer though because of the grooves. It'll take a lot of frosting and some time. But with these, we just took some pony beads, which you will also get in your kit when you pick those up if you want to. And I'm just putting them on here. We'll give you a variety of colors in your kit. But as your teachers say, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. So I'm just going to put about 6 of those on there, and you'll notice that I used the bottom of the toothpick and I set it in there, and then I set this on the top so that it would kind of be like my little drawbridge. So I could work on those while I'm waiting for this. But I'm just going to go ahead and take one of my walls that I already built, because to get this tower I have to have 2 walls. So again, I'm going to take my confectioner's sugar frosting, work that down back into the corner of the bag, because as you work with this Ziploc bag, which you will also get in your kit, it does have a tendency to move back up. So I just have to, see there, and I made a mess, that's why we have lots of wipes. I just have to get my frosting down into the corner, and just like I did before, I'm going to put lots of frosting on every side of my square. I can add my second tower. And then we are also going to get in your kit, you'll get a sugar cone. And with my sugar cone, I'm going to go ahead and just pipe all the way around the circumference of that cone and stick that on there. And then lastly, you'll notice I have some of these conversation hearts. So if I want to add those, I'm just going to pick one up. I can put some frosting to act like glue on the back of that conversation heart and just go ahead and add that to my castle. And you will get some of those hearts, you'll get some Smarties, and again, anything you have at home that you want to add to your castles, feel free. You'll also get some of these stars and some toothpicks. These stars have a little bit of a sticker on them. They're a sticky back. I'm not going to take that off. I am just going to take my toothpick and put that into the star. And one thing I did is if I just put this up there like that, if the hole is too big, it might fall all the way down. So I just went ahead and put a little bit of frosting there just to make sure that it stays in place. And of course, you could take your frosting and you could decorate your cone a little bit more if you wanted to. You could put a pattern on there. I've got to get more of my frosting down into that bag, into that corner. Maybe I'll just go with the chocolate. But I could decorate my cone a little bit more if I want to. And you may have noticed that with that confectioner's sugar, it had only been on there probably less than a minute, and it was already sticking pretty well. So make sure you know ahead of time what you want to do and where you want to put it, because it will attach rather quickly. So there you have it. You're going to have to build all of these walls. Again, set them aside, let them harden a little bit. This one's actually hardened up pretty well, but I noticed that that wall was collapsing a little bit at the bottom, so I can still move it. Again, if you're using this kind of frosting, you're really going to want to let it sit for a while because it will not move easily. And I would suggest, if you want to be able to move your castle, put it on a piece of cardboard or a cookie pan, a jelly roll pan, so that you can move it when you're done. You ready, Miss Linda? You think you can knock over my stormtroopers? I don't know.
First I'll tell you, I've made some ahead, boys and girls. These are the catapults that you'll be getting the pieces for in that kit that Miss Angie mentioned. And in that, you'll get approximately 6 of these sticks and some rubber bands. And how you build these, it's super simple. You're just going to start, I found it easier, I start by putting the 6 together, rubber banding the ends together. Then the 2 that actually become more what's the catapult, the slinging part of the catapult, I rubber band the one end together. Takes multiple things to do it, but it works. Alrighty. So you've got those 2 things together. And then, as you can see, I'm going to separate them. And just kind of put them in there like that. And then I take a rubber band. In this case, if you can tell on the finished ones, it looks like an X. So that's what I'm aiming for. That kind of holds it. And I will tell you right now, some rubber bands hold better than others. So just do what you can to get it on there nice and tight. All right, and then from there, we're going to also include a plastic spoon. We've learned that some spoons, once again, like most weapons of destruction, some work better than others. The spoon you're going to slip down in underneath that X you made, have it rest right along the round portion of the spoon, rest right up against the end of the catapult stick, and that again you need to attach so it doesn't fall off. So just put my rubber band on there. Now you don't want to, boys and girls, you do not want to take and rubber band these 2 tips together. You're just going over the top stick and attaching the spoon like so. And we'll give you enough to do 1 catapult, but these supplies, you can get this stuff, you know, any of the big box stores. You can use, I do have an example if you have smaller craft sticks that you can make one with. But now comes the fun part. If you haven't noticed, we're also going to include marshmallows with this, because back in the days with castles, when people would come up and want to destroy the castle and they used the catapults, they would have something in, what's the spoon end of it? And that would be like usually rocks or something like that, and that they would pull back and then let it fly. I don't know that it'll fly clear across our way here, but we'll have fun. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my catapults in my arm, because my army's waiting on me over here. I have a little army just eagerly awaiting the overthrow of Miss Angie's castle.
Good luck.
Yes, she says good luck. So this is my little army, led by Frankenstein. So I'm going to put my catapults in position. Let's see how this works. You can have fun with this. You could experiment with different, like I said, different spoons, different sticks. we will give you some marshmallows, but personally I thought something would be really awesome is to put a little bit of glitter in there too. That could represent like fire or the fact that you like glitter. But once again, make sure it's okay with whoever the adult is before you go glitterifying all their carpet. All right, are you ready, Miss Angie?
I am.
My
Take out your
army
Frankenstein.
is on the march. Here he comes. Choo! Choo! Oh, Miss Angie's got great aim. Look at her. Like you can learn. You can pick these up. They actually fly better if you pick them up.
You still aren't getting my castle, Miss Linda.
I know. I'm getting everything under the sun like your castle.
I do like the stars you're throwing at my castle. Oh, I almost took one out.
Whoa, I almost got Miss Angie. And you could use mini marshmallows. We just happened to buy the regular sized. Oh, I got that.
Ooh.
Yay.
You knocked off my star, Miss Linda.
But anyway, you can see you can have lots of fun doing this.
Yes.
Bring some friends in, have a castle building competition, build your catapults, and then see if you can storm the castle and knock them over. So until next time, goodbye from Kids Place at Branch District Library.
I noticed you didn't take out my stormtroopers. You know why? Because, oh, I see how you are. I used frosting to hold them
Oh,
in place.
you
You can't get my stormtroopers.
Oh, you're a rat.
All right, if you want to pick up one of these fun kits and have fun at home, you need to call 517-278-2341, extension 3. We do have limited supplies, and it will be curbside pickup. We'll have about 20 kits for the castles, so you will need to call and reserve your castle making kit.
And curbside is here in Coldwater.
Yes, you will have to pick them up in Coldwater. So if you're in Bronson, Quincy, Algansey, Sherwood,
Come visit us.
come visit us in Coldwater. Oh, you got the lens. Good job.